Hello guys, Dylan here from DigitalAE, and today I'm going to be showing you guys a really simple tutorial on how to achieve a realistic handheld camera shake effect inside of After Effects CC. Now you're probably thinking, well, why can't I just add a simple wiggle expression to my footage to get the camera shake? Now of course you can do that, but the problem is it's computer generated. It may not look as realistic as real sort of camera shakes because it's too smooth and it doesn't have sometimes the jerkiness of a real cameraman. So today I'm going to be showing you how to get a realistic camera shake using real footage and the data that comes along with it to apply a camera shake effect to any piece of footage really. Now to follow along with what I'm actually going to be creating today, you guys are going to need two pieces of footage. One piece of footage can be pretty much any still shot, while the other footage that you're using for the camera shake must have the camera shakes you sort of want and some nice high contrast for you to get a clean track, because we will be tracking that footage today. Now if you are lazy and don't want to get these two pieces of footage, I have provided my very own footage that I'm going to be using in this tutorial along with the AE project file in the description below for you to go download and use, so go download that. But anyway guys, let's take a look at what we'll be creating. So that's basically the effect we'll be creating. We've sort of got my nice piece of footage that I shot here of me rack focusing on this barbed wire fence here. As you can see, it's a nice rack focus, and we've got this realistic camera shake, as you can see here. If I just sort of play that back here, my computer's running slow. As you can see, we've got sort of that nice realistic camera shake going on here, and yes, this is shot on a tripod, so this is added in after this camera shake. As you can see, it's really nice and it looks very, very realistic. So let's jump into After Effects right now, and I've got the two pieces of footage we'll be using. Again, we've got that fence footage. This is just shot on a tripod. As you can see, it's just me rack focusing right here. It's a very nice cinematic shot, I reckon, especially with the 2.35 to 1 aspect ratio right here. It makes it even look more cinematic. So this is just some footage that I got shot on a tripod, and the other piece of footage is the tracking data footage. Now I shot a piece of paper with these sort of two crosshairs right here for me to actually track, and all I basically did was just moved my camera filming it, making sure I've got some nice camera shake, as you can see here, to track later. So basically this is the footage we're going to be using to actually apply the track to that sort of tripod footage, as you can see here. So let's go create a new composition. I'm going to call this camera shake. It's going to be 1920 by 816, and this is the cinematic aspect ratio I'm going to be using. It's actually a 2.35 to 1 aspect ratio. The frame rate is also going to be 23.976 frames per second with a duration of 8 seconds and 21 frames. As you can see there, I'm just going to click OK. Then I'm just going to drag both pieces of footage into the composition. So as you can see, we've got the fence footage, and if I just hide that, we've got the nice tracking data footage. Now the first thing we're going to do is actually get this tracking data and start actually tracking it and applying it to the tripod footage. So what we're going to do is just make sure you've got this tracker sort of panel up here. If you don't, just go up to window, go down and select tracker right here. Make sure you've selected your tracking data footage, and then just click track motion. And as you can see, we get this sort of nice little square, well, two squares you can say, that's going to be where we're actually going to be using to place where we want to actually track. Now not only do we want to track the position of this footage, we also want to track the rotation, and we're not going to worry about the scale, because this camera doesn't actually scale at all. So we're just going to do sort of track the position and rotation. So to do that, just go to the tracker panel and select rotation right here, and it'll bring up another box. As you can see here, I'm just going to also scale that up, and I'm actually just going to make these the same sizes. So I'm just going to sort of position it like here, make these quite large, and just make these like two little boxes just like here. So they look the same. So I'm just going to get one right here and then just put it in the center of my little crosshair that I made with this pen here. As you can see, we've got some nice color contrast between the white paper and this sort of blue cross here. So I'm basically just going to center it in there so it captures the white and also the blue, and I'm just going to do this also for over here and just place that in the center right there. So as you can see, we've got the 2 track points on these 2 blue crosses right here, and all we simply have to do is go down to our tracker panel and click analyze forward. So while we're doing that, just make sure these tracker points don't go off your sort of point that you selected it on. And it's looking like a clean track. So mine is a nice clean track, as you can see there, and it's sort of nice and tracked. It doesn't go off at all, so that's nice and good. Now we're going to have to create a new null. So what we're going to do is go up to layer, new null object, and also on our Windows operating system you can select Control Alt Shift Y. I'm just going to click it, and then I'm actually just going to rename this null to track, just like that. And then in our tracker panel, I'm just going to hit edit target, and then I'm going to select that track null that we just created, click OK, and then I'm going to hit apply and apply dimensions X and Y. That's all good. Just click OK, and voila, we have a tracking data. So as you can see, this null is actually stuck to our track point right here. It's a very good track, it sticks very well, so that's all nice and good there. Now, we actually don't need this tracking data footage anymore because we've already got the tracking data onto this null, sorry. So we're just going to go ahead and delete that, and then we can just simply turn the visibility of our footage right here back on. Now the next thing we're going to do is get these nulls position and rotation and actually apply it to this tripod footage. So to simply do that, we're going to go under parent, and we're going to hit the little drop down here, and then to adjust select track. And another way to actually do that is just get the pick whip right here and just put it on track just like that. Now this footage is now parented to that null, and it's going to follow it. So as you can see, if we play it here, we've actually got the footage following the null object right here. Now a problem is it actually goes off frame, as you can see here, and it's got sort of this transparency sort of areas right here that we need to fix. So to simply fix this, we're actually going to have to scale it up. So I'm actually just going to maybe scale it to 110, and as you can see, it's still a bit off, so maybe, I don't know, 115. And basically you just want to scrub through and make sure none of the edges of our footage go into the compositions area. So we can just sort of simply play it through. So that does, so we're just going to maybe move it up there, go back to the start, and then just play it through, check all of the edges, as you can see here. And it doesn't look like any other areas are going in, so that's really good. Now, if we actually play it, you can see that the camera shake is now applied to this nice piece of footage here. Now, it looks like a really nice camera shake because the camera shake's data is actually from that real sort of tracking data footage that we had just before. Now, it looks like a really nice camera shake. This is a really good method to get a really nice, realistic camera shake and apply it to tripod footage or maybe even handheld footage just to get more of a sort of handheld type feel. And it's a very good way of doing it. Now, to actually play back without these sort of what would you call it, sort of the edges or selection of the actual footage and this null, a little tip you can do is actually go ahead on a Windows operating system and hold in Control Shift H, and that'll just toggle it on and off. So if you just toggle it off and play it, you've sort of got none of that in the road of what you're actually viewing. So that's a nice little tip there. So that's basically it, guys, on how to create that really nice handheld realistic camera shake effect using actual real footage as tracking data and stuff to actually apply it to other pieces of footage. So thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate it. I hope you enjoyed this sort of cool camera shake tutorial. If you did, don't forget to leave a comment and subscribe. Also, if you have a project or film that needs some visual effects done, I am available for hire as a VFX artist. Just email me at digitalaeofficial@gmail.com and we can discuss sort of details about the project. But anyway, guys, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll catch you guys later. Bye, guys.